Good morning, committee. 9 o'clock seems a little late, doesn't it? We should be 2 or 3 bills in by now. But we're going to start today out really easily, really fun, I think. My name is Shane Clacken. I represent House District 37, all of Petroleum County, most of Fergus County. Name is spelled K-L-A-K-K-E-N. Today, I present to you House Resolution 5. When we get in the body of this, we're going to see this is actually late because this is to commemorate this week as 2 lights for tomorrow week. Because of timing issues, we should have had this quite a while ago. This is the way things turn out. The Senate is also doing this on their side, so the House is going to have its own resolution. The Senate is going to have its own too. This is co-sponsored by 52 fellow House members. Really good bipartisan support for this because it's history. This resolution seeks to designate the week of April 14th, 2025 as 2 lights for tomorrow week in Montana. The resolution commemorates the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, specifically highlighting events that happened 250 years ago this Friday. And that event is the ride that Paul Revere made with the accompaniment of William Dawes and another person that we haven't heard much of was Samuel Prescott. They rode to the house of Pastor Jonas Clark to warn the Sons of Liberty people who were there. There was 2 of them. It was Sam Adams and John Hancock. They went to warn them of the intentions of the British. Remember the poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow that says, "One if by land, 2 if by sea." Well, this is that. I don't know if they teach that in school anymore. I know I learned that poem because it's a very significant event in our history. That warning worked. It got the people ready for when the British showed up the next morning on the Lexington Green. Pastor Jonas Clark's 70 parishioners showed up to face 700 British regulars that General Gage sent. And there was, to this day, we know that little battle that happened is now commemorated as the shot that was heard around the world. But before that, Captain Parker walked up and down the 70 and said, "Do not fire unless fired upon." He meant this to be a just war, a defensive war. If do not fire unless fired upon, if they mean more, let it begin here. And it did. To this day, though, the actual first shot, who shot the first shot, the British or the Americans, you just don't know. There's a lot of speculation, there's some theory, but the actual knowledge of that is not known. There was an enslaved black guy there. His name was Prince Easterbrook. He was wounded in the shoulder on that morning of April 19th. And this week, we want to commemorate that. These riders, they just epitomize our enduring American values of vigilance, unity, and community as the next day folded through the Lexington Green and the Concord battle, the battle at the Concord Bridge. House Joint Resolution 5 supports the national initiative to display 2 lights in public spaces on April 18th, 2025, and encourages a day of community service on April 19th. Interesting how Easter happens to turn out on this same weekend. This is Holy Week, too. So we're also trying to make sure we understand the history of not only that event, but the event we're commemorating today. This resolution calls on American citizens, government buildings, and organizations to participate in displaying 2 lights and honoring the shared history and sacrifices that shaped our nation. Aligning the efforts by the Montana 250th Commission and other national entities. There was a big movement, as you know, we have 250-year anniversary here coming up with the Declaration of Independence next year. And there's a movement called the Montana 250th Commission to commemorate that entire sequence. And it starts the shot that heard around the world on 250 years ago this coming Saturday, and that was precipitated with a warning by Paul Revere's riders to the Sons of Liberty. I do want to note that 19th of April is the most important date in history, this year especially because it's my wife's 60th birthday. So given that, we'll hopefully got some proponents to show up and talk to you, and I will close. Thank you.